Canon has brought many revolutionary cameras to the market. If you can remember, Canon's 5D Mark II created a cinema SLR revolution in the camera industry. And many years later, Canon launched the 5D Mark IV in 2016. The Mark IV also came in the market with decent improvements over the Mark III. So this camera is almost 5 years old. Still, there are many SLR users who prefer to use this camera because of some of its excellent features. But is this camera still worth buying? This is going to be the main topic of this video. We will go deep in all of its major features and downsides to find out those answers. So with that being said, let's start the video. Canon 5D Mark IV features a 30.4 megapixel CMOS full-frame camera. Moreover, there is an optical low-pass filter in the camera, which reduces the aliasing and moire effect. However, it would result in a decrease in sharpness too. So you are not going to get that fine resolution, but still, the sharpness this camera provides is impressive. For adequately fast performance, this camera is equipped with Digic 6 Plus processor, which facilitates fast shooting up to 7 frames per second. Additionally, there is also a digital lens optimizer on board for JPEG shooting. This technology helps to reduce chromatic aberration, distortion, diffraction, and other lens issues. Besides, to ease your low-light shooting, its native ISO ranges from 100 to 32,000, which is expandable up to 50 to 100 to 2400. Moreover, this camera also incorporates a pixel RGB plus IR metering sensor, which is effective enough to evaluate the environment and the subject to give an almost perfect exposure for different lighting conditions. It also has the dual pixel RAW, which essentially enables bokeh shift and reduces the ghosting effect. But in practical, those changes do only a little good to your picture but doubles the file size, so you might never choose to use this feature. The most striking point of this camera is its fast and accurate autofocus. This camera includes an ITR autofocus system, which includes 61 points of high-density reticular autofocus. Autofocus is efficient enough to focus in as low as -3 exposure value. There is an AF area button that lets you toggle through different options of autofocus coverage. This button allows for focusing on a single point to a larger area so that you can decide which part of the frame to focus on very precisely. For example, you can choose single-point autofocus to focus on the eye of the subject. Alternatively, you can also select a larger focus area, which is particularly handy when you are shooting fast-moving subjects. Additionally, it has dual-pixel autofocus, which offers faster autofocus performance. And with the continuous autofocus turned on, this camera is capable of shooting approximately 4.3 frames per second. As far as videos are concerned, the 5D Mark IV can shoot DCI 4K videos at 30 frames per second. Though the 4K recording comes with a 422 sampling, which is great, still it has a color depth of only 8 bits. One of the disappointments of this camera is the crop factor when recording videos with optimal resolution. You will get a 1.74 times crop while shooting 4K videos. To get the full width recording, you have to switch to 1080p, so clearly, if you are a professional shooter, this camera is not for you. It is suitable for casual shooters who don't need to touch those sky-high specs in their videos. Apart from that, there is no waveform, peaking, or zebra in this camera. So you have to depend on a lot of guesswork as there are not many assist tools in this camera. And to make things even difficult for you, this camera shoots 4K in MJPG or Motion JPEG format. This format converts your videos into space-sucking bulk files. So after starting to record in 4K, you will run out of memory pretty quickly. And it is also too heavy on the camera's battery life. On top of that, it has no Canon log and the dynamic range of this camera is also not that high. so you won't get much vivid color with this camera. However, there is an intervalometer that allows you to capture time-lapse videos. In addition to that, this camera features a large 3.2-inch 1.62 million dot LCD touchscreen, which has an anti-reflective design to help you shoot in different lighting conditions. The touch display also lets you capture images just by tapping the screen. However, it is not a flipping or rotating screen. It is just fixed to the body, which is a deal breaker to many. So who is it for mainly? And is it worth buying today? Well, the Canon 5D Mark IV was definitely a good camera when it was launched, as it had some major improvement over its predecessors. But if you compare it with cameras of the present time, it might not be a very lucrative camera to many. And the reasons are obvious: a fixed screen, cropped 4K, no Canon log, and the space-consuming MJPG format for videos. All these make it a less appealing option as a camera to buy. Plus, the price might seem totally absurd to many. You can get a Canon R6 at that price. So what are your thoughts about the Canon 5D Mark IV? Let us know in the comment section.